Hey, what's up, and welcome back to Oshi no Ko. This is Season 3, Episode 6. This episode on Crunchyroll is just called Episode 6. Like a lot of the episodes, they'll have a title to them. This one, it just says Episode 6. I don't know if that's just a placeholder and they didn't put the title in today, or if the episode's actually called Episode 6. But anyway, we're going to be jumping into this. Last week, Kana was going through some networking, and it led to her potentially, you know, she was about to maybe do something she might have regretted with the director to get a job, and then she ended up not doing it and broke down crying instead. And then once she left that place, there was photos taken of her, so people are probably going to think she did it anyway, even if she didn't, you know? So, let's see how this arc goes. Poor Kana, she just can't catch a break no matter what she fucking does. I mean, she did it right in this circumstance, you know? She said no, she took a step back, she didn't, you know, she didn't let herself be carried away, and yet, still, she might receive the societal punishments for it, which is awful. Anyway, let's jump into Season 3, Episode 6 of Oshi no Ko. Support the video if you can, liking, commenting, and subscribing, and go to my Patreon account for full-length early access and exclusive videos. Let's jump into this. Oshi no Ko, Season 3, Episode 6. Test me! Top of the Idols. I went out with my brother. Yeah, I knew she would say that. They have to say that anyway, right? Because of idol culture. Oh no, I never go out with any boys. Why is she being split up, huh? I guess there's only 2 open chairs. Oh, is that like a... Yeah. Right. Yeah.
この業界に飛び込んでまず思ったことは、意外と彼氏いる子多いんだな。匂わせないようにするかがプロ意識だと考える人が多い。
Yep.
必ず個室を選ぶし、ライブ会場。
Just so frustrating that they have to do this.
YouTuber は交際相手の話をしない。
Just let them date.
付き合ってれば関係性を見せないように気をつけている。クリスマス用に彼氏いない感を出すための画像を事前に集まって撮ったりする。
Interesting.
一つ一つのニュースがとても弱くなった。
That's true.
スキャンダルがタレントにとって致命的なダメージではなく、
Yeah, there's just a lot of people have scandals.
少し期間を置けば第一線に復帰できる風潮ができてるのは、大抵身内のリークなのだから。
Yeah.
芸能界は決して綺麗な場所なんかじゃない。
It seems like it's all setting up for whatever's gonna happen to Kana. Yeah, look at you. Cut right to it. Oh no, are they gonna see it on TV? That's probably gonna pop up online. Yeah, ain't that the truth? Aww. I like Memcho is so supportive. Memcho really tries to take care of the other 2. Memcho's running to Aqua. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, so it must be real bad. She's trying. Yeah. Memcho is so sweet, man. Damn, Aqua. Oh, you already heard her a lot the other day. Yeah. Yeah. That's true. Why would she stay here? Yeah, don't just drop her off and leave her. That's a really good point. Aww. Yeah, come on, make up with her. Talk to her. Man, it's getting dramatic and the scandal hasn't even dropped yet. Oh no. Is he gonna like blackmail her? Jeez, yeah, okay, here it comes. Yeah. You want to comment on this story? Oh, Kana. Just say, I'm not talking to you. Is Aqua here? Aww. No, don't listen to him. God. Poor girl. And she left her cute little beret behind. Oh, I wish she wasn't alone right now. She's gonna spiral. Yeah, and you didn't do anything. Man. You know, I feel like we need a Kane right now, not just Aqua. Oh no, Kana. No! Fuck, man. Oh, she's just antsy. She wants to do something. Man, I love Memcho so much. Yeah. That's so true. Just putting so much pressure on people who are still developing. So disgusting. Oh, she looked a little proud of Aqua there. That's a pretty terrifying image. Oh. I tore up your trading cards? Dude! At least pawn them off. Oh. Jesus. Man. Does that hit her the hardest because she feels like it's a little bit true? Oh, that scene was so cute, man. God, I just want him to find her. It looks like he's on the same street she was. Oh. Oh, it's the park where they were playing catch. That's where he went. And that's where she went. Oh, Kana. This is why Aqua needs to be here. No, we do want the real Kana. God, and when it rains it pours. Like she was already struggling before this scandal dropped. Oh. The voice actor's so good at crying. I hate it. I hate how good she is at it. Oh, it's a Nami moment. Please see her. Yes, yes, yes. Now tell her to stay there. Is she picking herself back up? Oh my god, has she just decided to do it herself? Aww. Yeah, let it out. Yeah. Aww. Yeah, let it out, Kana. That's so awesome, Kana. Oh, he believed she would just do it herself. Oh, and you tell Memcho where to find her. No, but I think there's nothing wrong with still having your support. Akane, we need you in times like this. She's just doing all her research. Is that all she's doing now? Media Eyes. Well, that's a crazy name since they have the sparkling eyes. Yeah, really. Is this Kamiki? Yeah, right. Why is he in a dark alley? Idols and relationships. Okay, it's not called episode 6. Okay, alright, man. Hard episode to watch. It's just one of those like really depressing episodes. But wow, man. I mean, the whole episode is like setting up this idea of like, you know, Kana is alone and struggling, and she like, and it feels like she's spiraling, you know, and I think it's very much supposed to parallel the Akane episode in season 1, where it's like Akane starts getting bullied online because she starts to have a scandal, and she just like spirals more and more, and it seems like, you know, nothing can stop it, and she like goes outside and she's like, and like it all gets too much for her, and then she's about to end her own life, right? And then Aku comes in and saves her. So it feels like it's supposed to parallel that, but like, is it gonna happen all over again with Kana? But instead, Kana isn't that type of person. She lets it all out and gets so frustrated and angry and sad. But also, you know, she works through it, and she's the sort of person that can actually like take a step back and go like, but you know what? I've been fending for myself my entire life. Like I can pick myself back up. I don't need anyone else. I can do this myself. And I mean, I respect that a lot. But also, I don't think that means Aqua's like, yeah, see, she, like, I knew she could do it. And yeah, maybe she can, but that doesn't mean you can't be there to support her. I don't think you need to save her, but I do think, like, he can be there as a parachute for her, you know? Just because someone can walk the tightrope perfectly doesn't mean you should take away the safety net underneath. Like, the safety net is not gonna hurt at all. You know, it's not gonna affect how good you are at walking the tightrope. So I do wish that, but I mean, I guess in his mind, like, it's him being in her life is a risk at all. So he's like, so if, in his mind, it will affect the tightrope walk. But I just think, man, it's so sad that she like is sitting there and she's like, man, I wish Aqua was here. And even though she was able to go like, but I don't need Aqua, I can do it myself. Like, I still, for her sake, I still wish she did have him, and I still wish she did have the support that she needed. Now, luckily, she has someone like Memcho, and I really love the detail of Aqua, instead of stepping in and doing, you know, and actually walking up to Kana, he just texts Memcho and says, look for her around here, so that Memcho will eventually find her. And so then she's not alone. You know, he made sure she wasn't going to be completely alone. Instead, it's like, yeah, actually get your friend to find you, and be able to help you. But Yeah, man. Oh, it's so sad and again frustrating. I'm not gonna go on the same rant that I did last week about how frustrated I am with like idol culture. You can go watch the last video's discussion for that, but it frustrates me so much. And what I really liked in this episode was that comment on like how much pressure we put on people who are just kids, you know, who are just developing, even if they're just young adults or whatever. Like putting pressure on people who are still finding their place in this world, not just from a career standpoint, but just in life in general, you know. I relate to this because I've made YouTube videos for almost all of my life. Like basically like since I was, I don't know, I would guess that I would have been around, let me think, 11ish when I started doing video stuff on different channels. And like, you know, for a lot of my life it was like I was doing videos for like basically no one, like zero to 5 views, and every once in a while, you know, I would get someone finding my video, or like a video of mine would blow up, and blow up for me at the time would have been like get 100 views, right? And so it was just like a very, very small thing, but you know, I would receive little bits of hate here or there, but it wasn't, you know, it wasn't that much because it was, I was barely anyone was seeing it anyway. But then, you know, I start to get to the point, like I get a channel that gets very successful, and I suddenly have thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, sometimes even millions of people watching my videos. Not this channel, an earlier channel that I did. And when I was doing that channel, I was like, some of it I was in high school, I think, and most of it I was like in early university, you know, when I was doing that channel. So I was still in my teens, and it really is something that you're suddenly like, you have so many people watching you, and like so many of your things that you do can be scrutinized, and it's a tough thing, man. Like it can be tough when you're growing up to be like exposed to that much. Now I feel like I was lucky, and also I did get a lot of hate or whatever. The niche that I was in was sort of family friendly content anyway, so because of that, it was actually mostly children commenting on the videos anyway. So it wasn't like that's a lot less harsh than when you have like, you know, what tends to be like 25 to 30-year-old men who are like just miserable and trying to make other people online miserable, you know, like they hate their own lives, and they're so frustrated that they're trying to abuse people online for the smallest things that they can find. That tends to be like that awful demographic, and so luckily I didn't have as much of that, but I still did get a lot of hate. But the hate that I got for the most part was like it was easier to dismiss, because it was like, well, these are kids, like, you know, they don't know what the fuck they're saying. They have no idea, you know. When you're a kid, like, being edgy is cool. Being edgy like feels good because you're getting reactions from people, and then hopefully as you grow up, you grow out of that. Not everyone does, unfortunately. There's still some people who are like, you know, 30 years old or whatever, that I mean, there are people who are fucking 60 years old who you know, are trying to go against culture so much, you know. But with kids, it's like very easily dismissible, because I'm like, I think even some of the best people in the world might have been kind of shitty when they were a kid, because it's tough being a kid. And you still got to learn how the world works, and how you can find pride in yourself. But anyway, I've dealt with my fair share there. And then when I started this channel, you know, I was well into being an adult when I started this channel. But like this channel and my Jent Watches One Piece channel and stuff, like, you're doing reaction videos, you're at least especially I am, putting so much vulnerability on the table. I've cried many times in this channel, and I wear it as a badge of honor. You know, I'm fine. I'm happy with being emotional when it comes to media, and I mean, it's good for videos that I am, but also I'm comfortable in my own masculinity, that I don't feel like there's anything wrong with me crying at anything. And anyone who makes fun of me for crying about something, I immediately know that they're kind of a bad person. You know, like it's easy to not take that too seriously. But I'm at a more comfortable place in my life with who I am. If I had done this channel back when I was a teen, like a reaction channel back then, and I was getting emotional, and then people were like making fun of me for that, and people getting very angry at me for some of the things that I was doing or finding me really annoying, it might hit me harder. Like I might get more bothered by it. And I'm not going to say no hate comments ever bother me. They do. Some do. Like, you know, I wish I could say, and I don't want this to be like a beacon to tell people to hate on me because you might get a reaction. But I also want to be honest, and like, yeah, sometimes I read a comment and it's like a really negative comment and it bums me out. But also, like, I'm a person who, and this is going to be the case with a lot of entertainers, a lot of people who go into the idol business or go into acting or whatever. I mean, I trained for acting for a good portion of my life, like half my life, because I have this aspect to me. Entertainers tend to be attention seekers, and the reason they're attention seekers a lot of the time is they want, not only do they want people to look at them, but they also want to be the reason that other people are happy. Now, it may not be that honorable as that sounds, you know, it like that may sound like, oh, you're trying to make other people happy, but it's like specifically you want to be the reason that other people are happy. And like it's a bit of a toxic trait, but it's something that I have to recognize that I have that in myself, right? I do want other people to be happy just as a flat rule, but also I would way prefer it if it was because of me that they were happy. And like it's a tough thing to admit, but that's kind of what a lot of entertainers are. And I mean, you can look at the Bo Burnham song "Art Is Dead," which is a very good song that he wrote, kind of about entertainers, and how that's kind of what they do, you know, comparing them to a screaming child at a birthday party, you know, just trying to get someone's attention. Because they just want everyone to look at them, and they want you know, to be the center of everyone's eye. But yeah, so like when I get a comment that's like really harsh, sometimes it bums me out because it hits hard. Like I feel like, you know, maybe I'll be like, oh, maybe I was annoying, or I was wrong in this situation or whatever. And sometimes it'll just hit me hard because I'm like, I made that person that left this hate comment, I made them sad, or I made them angry. And I don't want to do that. Like, I want to make someone happy. So when I get comments that's like, oh, this video was amazing, or this video made my day, or like, oh, I loved this was the funniest thing I've seen, or anything along those lines, it makes me feel so good, because that's exactly what my goal is, to like actually make people just have, you know, just really, really enjoy themselves. But yeah, sometimes you get the opposite thing, and it hits me hard because I don't want to make people that upset. And like in this episode, you were seeing Kana having those thoughts of like what people might say about her, right? And a lot of those thoughts weren't just like, some of them were like, you're a slut and whatever, right? Some of them were like, you know, directed at her in an insulting manner. But a lot of them were actually, you've disappointed me. You've ruined my idea of what an idol is. You know, I regret that I wasted all this money on you. Like a lot of stuff along those lines, which makes me think she's upset not just about that, but upset that she may have, you know, ruined people's dreams, like ruined people's happiness. She might have fucked things up for many, many people. Which I think is very much an entertainer mindset. And I think Aka would know that as well, the writer of this manga. because I think mangaka probably have the same sort of thing. I'm sure that mangaka, like, I mean, people, this is why I kind of hate that people like, you know, Oshi no Ko, you know, so there's a lot of manga readers who hate the ending of Oshi no Ko. I'm a manga reader, and I was neutral on the ending of Oshi no Ko. I have no strong opinions of it one way or the other. I've things that I wish were different about it, but also I completely respect a writer's right to write the kind of ending that they want to do, and I think the ending that is written for this series is appropriate for the series. I don't think it's the worst thing I've ever read. I think it was fine and appropriate, and it made sense. But and I won't talk about what that is, but the reason I'm bringing it up is because so many people are so horribly toxic towards Aka for the way that the series ended, which to me is like, did you read Oshi no Ko? Not like, did you read it as in, you don't even understand the ending? No, do you understand the themes of the series about how horrible it is to put that much pressure onto a person for the entertainment, for the art that they create, and to put that much like toxicity on it? Like, okay, you didn't like the ending, move on with your life, you know? Don't be like, oh, he's a fucking garbage writer, he's a piece of shit, blah blah blah, I'm never trusting him again. Like, oh my god, man, relax. Just say I wasn't a big fan of the ending. That's all you gotta say. I didn't like it very much. It bummed me out. It made me sad. I don't know. But like, don't use it. Like, I feel like whenever you're directing it at Aka, at the mangaka, that's so horrible to me. And it feels like, you know, whether or not you may have a good point about the ending, you may have your own opinions about it, and maybe they come from a decent place, but you're invalidating it by going against the themes of the series so heavily, by having that much expectation and anger toward the people who are behind a piece of art that you eagerly consumed for so long. And also, I just think, like, don't put so much stock on an ending. I always think this, but like, an ending is one small part of a huge story. And I know it feels like the most important part because it's what everything was building up to. Like, yes, it has more stock in it than another piece of the story, but some people treat it like it's the only part of a story that matters. Like, if a story was so good up until the ending, but they completely fuck up the ending, that somehow that ruins the fact that they wrote so much incredible stuff up until that point. Like, this series has been a hit after hit. This series, like, there's so much incredible that happens in this series. I don't give a fuck how it ends. You've already given me so much. Everything else you give me from this point on is bonus, you know? Like, if One Piece, like, didn't stick the landing, which honestly, I cannot see a world where it doesn't stick the landing. Oda is so good at endings, just in general, that I feel like One Piece is gonna have an excellent ending. Maybe it'll be slightly disappointing, but I think it'll overall be a pretty excellent ending. But if Oda, like, was to make a terrible ending somehow, if One Piece ended awfully, like, there's no way I'm gonna walk away from it and go, One Piece was awful, or One Piece was a bad show. Like, what? It's so far given me 1,155 episodes that I have adored. Now, I haven't loved every single one of those episodes, but the majority of it matters so much to me and has changed my life, and I care about so much. So if the end of the story, that would be insane for me to, like, jump off of that fan train because the end of the story wasn't as good, you know? That's just what I think anyway. Anyway, that's Oshi no Ko Season 3, Episode 6. Thanks for joining me. Make sure to support the video if you can, liking, commenting, and subscribing. And go to my Patreon account for full-length early access and exclusive videos. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.